Okay. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. This is the March. Wait a minute. You've got the wrong agenda in front of me. All right. All right, here we go. This is the Thursday, March 9 meeting of the Dighton Public Library Board of Trustees. This is the regular meeting of the trustees. We are meeting in Zoom this evening, not in person. So the meeting is being recorded through the Zoom platform. All votes will be taken by a roll call of the members, and we'll proceed with a call to order the meeting, and we'll begin with a pledge of allegiance. I'll stand, and I've got a flag here that'll help. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, boy.
Okay, we'll do a roll call. Ann Meitzen.
Ann Meitzen, trustee, present.
Rita Russo.
Trustee present.
Ron O'Connor, chair, present. Jocelyn.
Jocelyn Tavares, director.
Thank you. The two items of old business. The first is the Dighton Public Library Board of Trustees bylaws. We'll be finishing our discussion of amendments to the bylaws. I know, Jocelyn, that the agenda says that this is a special meeting, but this is the regular meeting of the trustees.
Oh, okay.
Right.
All right.
Just a technical error. This is the regular meeting, the second Thursday of the month at 7 p.m.
Okay.
So we had a couple of amendments we wanted to make to the bylaws, and they require that we that those bylaw changes occur at a general meeting, which this is. So the first is the meetings. It currently states that regular meetings shall be held at the library on the second Thursday of each month, beginning at 7 p.m. Regular attendance is expected. A trustee is expected to give advance notice to the chairperson or library director whenever she cannot attend a meeting. This is Article 6, meetings, item number 1. So what we had talked about was actually changing this to 6 p.m. and changing the language to on instead of at the library, on town premises, which allows for us to meet in Old Town Hall or other locations on the town. It's not campus, but whatever, town premises. That allows us a lot of flexibility, but that's the only change. So could I have a motion to change the Article 6, item 1 to regular meetings shall be held on town premises on the second Thursday of each month, beginning at 6 p.m. And that would be the only change being on town premises instead of at the library, and beginning at 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. So can I have a motion to that effect?
I move that we change item 1 to regular meetings shall be held on town premises on the second Thursday of each month, beginning at 6 p.m.
Is there a second?
I second it, Rita.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. Ann Meitzen,
Aye.
Rita Russo,
Aye.
Ron O'Connor, chair, aye. The motion passes. Well, that's so just to review the process here, that amendments bylaws may be amended at a regular meeting of the board with a quorum present by a majority vote of the members present, providing that a motion presenting the amendment was duly made and seconded at the previous regular meeting. So this change does not take effect until the next meeting, at which there will be a vote. So I think we're fine. Go ahead.
I have in my notes that we talked about adding regular meeting date can change at the discretion of the Board of Trustees, or is that understood?
I think that's a good point. So you're suggesting a friendly amendment or perhaps a second amendment, which might be, I mean, it does say that special meetings may be called by the chairperson or at the request of a majority of the members. I think any meeting other than the regular meeting as defined is a special meeting.
Mm,
I don't know, but we haven't defined, but I think we've defined the regular meeting as one which occurs on a regular day and time.
Ron, would that be, that statement cover like a cancellation if that had to happen? Is that,
A cancellation in the event of weather, for example, you mean, or
or illness,
quorum.
or we don't have a quorum, or,
I think that we're probably dealing with Robert's Rules of Order with regards to
Okay.
meetings, perhaps, and I don't know, but that may be, again, I think we can postpone a regular meeting due to circumstances beyond our control,
okay,
such as lack of quorum, or weather, because this Zoom platform is not going to be available as an option after May. So meetings will need to be in person. So does that sound reasonable, that we can't change the date of the regular meeting? We've changed the time and been less specific about the location. But I think it's good just to keep the time, but keep it as defined.
perfect.
Do we, I don't think we need to add language that in the absence of a quorum or due to weather conditions. I mean, I think that's just common. I think that's common sense. Yeah.
Right.
right,
Okay. Okay, the other change that we talked about was officers shall be elected from the board at that regular meeting of the board 6 months after the annual town election. The term of office shall be 1 year. In the event of a vacancy, the vacancy shall be filled by a vote of the board. I think we flagged this because I believe that town, the town guidance has changed on that. I think it now states that the vote should take place at the meeting following the town election. I think that's the change that we wanted to make. Is that correct?
yes,
Just to be in line with the town's handbook or manual for boards and committees. So I'll entertain a motion to change Article 5, officers, Section 5, to state that officers shall be elected from the board at the regular meeting immediately following the annual town election. So replacing 6 months after to immediately following the annual town election, and that would be the only change. So it's replacing 6 months after the annual town election to immediately following the annual town election. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
Okay, this is Rita. I make a motion that we change Article 5, Officers, Section 5 to election of officers after the annual town election.
So the regular meeting of the board immediately following.
Yes, the regular board.
Yep, that's okay. And is there a second?
I second, Ann Meitzen.
Okay. We have a motion and second. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. Ann Meitzen,
Aye.
Rita Russo,
Aye.
Ron O'Connor, Chair, aye. Motion passes. The amendment is moved forward to the next regular meeting of the trustees for a vote to enact the amendment. Any other questions or comments about the bylaws or places where you see a need for a change? Are we okay? We're okay with the language regarding committees. We have formed a committee and I think that doesn't need to be changed. Yep, I think I hadn't flagged anything else and I don't know that we I'm just looking at one other thing. Okay. So, yeah, I think I'm all set. I'm all set. Well, no, I'm not. Sorry, there's some conflicting language here that I just caught. It's Article 3, Item 5, under membership. Item 5 states the board shall consist of president, secretary, and member at large. And we either have to have a chair or a president. And so I would just recommend that as a technical correction. We can do a motion to replace any occurrence of the word president in this document to chairperson. I think that may be the only occurrence of the word president. So I think that's old language, Jocelyn, that
Okay.
we just didn't pick up on a long time ago when we looked at these. So okay. So I'll entertain a motion to just replace any occurrence of the word president with the word chairperson in the document. And I believe that only occurs in that one place, but let's just make sure in the interest of time so we don't have to sift through it. And those can be clarified at the next regular meeting at which we actually adopt the amendments. Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to replace every occurrence of the word president to the word chairperson in the bylaws.
I move that we replace the word president in the bylaws with the word chairperson as it occurs. Or
Okay. Motion made by Ann Meitzen.
Rita
Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Rita Russo. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote. Rita Russo,
Aye.
Ann Meitzen,
aye.
Ron O'Connor, Chair, aye. Motion passes. So we have 3 amendments to move on for enactment at our next regular meeting in April. Okay. Good, thank you. With few technical corrections to our bylaws, but important nevertheless. Next item on the agenda is the letter to town residents. Review, discuss, and act. Jocelyn, do you want to update us on the status of that? The draft?
I've started creating a webpage for the letter. with links in the letter and as attachments. And I attended a meeting with the statewide PR committee that MBLC runs, which is where I sent you the document on sample language to respond to the kind of thing we've been facing.
Mhm.
I haven't implemented anything. I know Rita said she liked one of the samples. So that's pretty much where we are. I intend to make a web page, send it in a newsletter, and probably get it out on social media.
Okay, I think the timing of this would be sometime around midweek next week, next Tuesday or Wednesday. Does that seem reasonable?
I believe so.
Okay,
And I will send everything to you all before it goes out to make
Okay.
sure everyone is comfortable and with the approach, or if you have suggestions or feel like there's a way that it needs to be displayed, or kind of finesse it.
okay. Do you think discussions of that sort would require another meeting?
My impression is that because we're discussing it in open session now,
Mhm.
we're able to work on it. I believe this is on the agenda tonight because the board didn't, we discussed it, and the intent seemed to be that everyone was in agreement with doing this, but there wasn't a formal vote to do it.
Yeah.
So I believe that's why we have it on the
Okay.
agenda tonight.
So we need a vote just to move forward with this.
That you intend to.
We need a motion to distribute a letter to town residents with an update and background on the challenge to the collection development policy and the creation of a web page on the Dighton Public Library webpage to post that information, that letter. I think this is largely, Jocelyn, and that we would all sign the letter. Correct.
Right.
The
Right.
3 trustees and the library director will sign the letter. And I think that's, I think that's fine. We reviewed the letter on Monday when we met.
Right.
We made some amendments to the letter then and did some had some discussion about how it's structured. I think the only thing was that maybe I don't know if we would want to discuss now, excuse me, is the language that we wanted to adopt from the MBLC document, or do we want to just, I think we have that language in there in one way or another, and I think that's just the sort of the stage setting language that we already have here, and it would just be a modification, slight modification of that language with the message. It's not so much about the words, it's what the message is, and I think we agreed upon that, and we could agree upon that tonight without wordsmithing it.
Okay.
I think that would be appropriate to do.
All right.
Any other? So let's see if we can. I'll put out a motion and ask for a motion, and see how this sounds. But I'll entertain a motion to move forward with the plan as discussed at our meeting on Monday, March 6th, regarding a letter and other communication and supporting documents for regarding the collection development policy challenges that we've faced, and to post that on the library webpage and distribute to the library distribution list. And so I'll entertain that motion. You can simply say, I make the motion. You don't have to repeat it. This is kind of convoluted, but we'll tie it up at the end. So we're
This is Ann Whiteson. I so move.
Thank you. Second, is there a second?
I second.
We have a motion made and seconded. Now, is there any discussion about how, what we're trying to accomplish here? Again, this is follow-up to our discussion on Monday.
No, I think it needs to go out.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And then once we approve this letter this evening, we can each just come to the library and sign it at our convenience. So motion made.
May I just
Go ahead,
add
sure.
something? If there's a reason, there is a posted meeting on Monday for the Education and Communications Committee that I can amend that if you feel there's a need to discuss this further. That meeting has been posted Monday at 1.
Monday at 1. I would not be able to be there, but we would have
Okay.
a quorum present with.
Yeah,
So go ahead and post it as a trustees meeting.
I've already
It's already
posted.
posted. Okay. Are we all going to be at CPC?
Yes,
Could we do it then?
I can amend that to add that to the agenda.
That
If
way
you
I
feel
can
there's
be
a
there.
need.
Yeah. I can be there on Monday. We could meet after CPC just for that purpose, if that sounds like that. If I guess we'd need to put it on there, but that I'd feel better knowing that we have we've met and reviewed it.
Okay.
In its final form, and Jocelyn, you and I can kind of get it there, but based on my notes from the other evening, it is complete. I think we just hadn't taken a vote, so but I want to ensure that we've done this correctly, and perhaps we could even sign it after CPC.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
Good. Okay. So then in that case, we should withdraw this motion and just wrap it up on Monday.
I withdraw the motion.
I second the withdrawal.
So motion is withdrawn. We'll wrap this up on Monday. We'll tie a bow on it. We'll sign it, and then Jocelyn will move forward, and we'll get, in particular, we'll get the motion very precise on Monday. You think you find a location? I think we could meet in the library annex in basement of town hall.
That's the plan, yeah.
I have to tell you, I am relying on my neighbors who are also going to the CPC meeting, because Joanne is out of town and I have no car. Unless someone wants to give me a ride home. And
And
I
can give you a ride home.
Oh, I
Okay.
can always count on you, Rita. Thank
I
you.
can as well. So, all right. So
I'm
thank you.
I'm closer.
Okay, thank you. All right. So then what time would this meeting be?
I don't have the CPC agenda, but
I have it.
You know what? Given my schedule, can we meet before CPC? This is going to be quick because I just realized I have a meeting, an arts festival meeting at 6 p.m.
okay.
on that day. Would that work if we met like at 4:30?
That's fine with me.
And Rita, would that work?
That's fine.
Okay,
I am-
if not, I can be late, but,
Oh,
am-
you know what? We can't because I didn't post for that time.
Yeah,
okay,
But we can,
right, well. Yes, you're right, it would be,
yeah, the CPC meeting is at 5. And
so we have to meet during the. Basically within the time frame that's posted with CPC,
right,
because it's too late now to do it. Okay. All right, I'm sorry to complicate things. I just want, this is important enough. I want to make sure that we're doing it appropriately.
I agree.
Okay. The other option is to meet sometime on Tuesday. Again, this will be quick. We're just looking at it and voting on it.
we're not in the post. I don't think I can post on Monday for Tuesday.
Can't post on Monday for Tuesday, right?
So Wednesday would be the first day,
Because you can't post tomorrow, even though it's a day,
right?
right? Yeah.
I would have had to have posted today.
Yeah. Well, let's post on Monday for Wednesday.
All right,
How's that?
What time are we looking at?
Um,
I have a fairly full schedule.
We do.
What time are we talking about?
It would have to be, it could be Zoom and it can be early morning.
That would be fine.
Or how early, Jocelyn, because you need to post Monday.
you give me the time and I'll try to make it. I don't,
I can run it over, Jocelyn, also. On Monday.
I don't know what time they're formally open. When the
Okay.
town clerk arrives. I'll say 8, but
Yeah,
Is 9 safer?
9 probably is.
Does that work for you, Ron?
9 o'clock on Wednesday.
Via Zoom?
Works for me. By Zoom. Rita?
That's fine.
All right, thank you. Thank
I'm
you. We'll get it
sorry.
done. No, it's okay. I think that was our target to get this out on Wednesday. And again, this will just be a quick thing. Jocelyn, you and I can coordinate on final content, and then we send it to trustees for final review, and then we can each come at our convenience and sign it.
Okay.
Once we've approved it. Thank you. Sorry for that long discussion of process, but I want to ensure that we're doing it appropriately. So, any other discussion related to this letter? No. Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the new business contract of employment for the library director, Jocelyn Tavares. Review, discuss, and act. I attended the Board of Selectmen meeting last evening. They discussed and approved the contract, the 3-year contract for Jocelyn at the meeting. And this is a follow-up to our discussion in executive session on Monday. And you've all received the contract as approved by the Board of Selectmen. It's now our task to approve the contract as well, so that we can sign it. So I'll entertain a motion to accept and approve the contract of employment for Jocelyn Tavares, library director.
I move that we review and just accept the contract for Jocelyn Tavares, library director.
I second.
I think we'd be better to choose the word approve, because I said both and I stumbled over it, but I think approve is a better word. So if I can make a friendly amendment to your
Yes,
motion, the motion is to approve the contract of employment for Library Director Jocelyn Tavares. It's been seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, I will just add, encourage each of you, if you weren't watching, or you to see the tape, the recording of last night's selectmen's meeting. So Selectman Chair Hull had some very kind comments about Library Director Tavares. So I want to encourage you to, can't tell you where it is on the recording, but somewhere Jocelyn wasn't it around somewhere around 8 o'clock, because we were running a little bit behind schedule. So, okay, that's it. So we have a motion made and seconded to approve the contract. So we'll vote. Rita Ruccio,
Aye.
Ann Meitzen,
Aye.
Ron O'Connor, Chair, aye. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Thank
Well,
you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the Saturday library operations. Do you want to introduce that agenda item, Jocelyn?
I am getting a little more concerned about having only one person staffed, particularly at town hall on Saturday, when the building is completely empty. It's not a heavily used location. And then today a staff member told me that they happen to have fallen in the modular unit, which just reaffirmed my inkling or inclination to maybe just have the modular unit open on Saturday. I know Selectman Pacheco from the very beginning had a preference of having 2 people at each location, and that it feels very difficult to do that. The only issue is Saturday is, there's one person in each location, and I did get feedback from staff who are they're typically assigned there, but I know that they feel they're concerned about patrons, kids and families missing out if that location is not open on a Saturday. So I just raised this as a concern of it affects one staff person primarily. Our part-time staff typically works there every Saturday, and the remaining staff rotate with one weekend a month. So I don't know what your thoughts are.
Jocelyn, this is Rita.
Yeah.
Which site gets the most use on a Saturday?
It appears it's the modular. Just anecdotally, I can figure out maybe where the most traffic is, but anecdotally, it appears the modular does. The other issue with the modular is that's where the holds are kept. That's where people come in to pick up their holds.
Yes.
So if Saturday is the only day that they can go to the library specifically for that purpose, I think if there are 2 people in the library as well, if there's a need to retrieve something from the other location, we can probably address that as it comes, but I don't know.
So you're suggesting that we have 2 staff in the modular on Saturday, including the person who would customarily be in town hall.
Right. So it's the staff person who would be at the modular and the town hall employee together at the modular.
Well, I think, I think that makes sense, and we could certainly invite feedback from patrons about how it's working. I think it'd be important to communicate the change. I recommend if we make this decision this evening that we have the town hall section open on this Saturday. I'm just thinking for, consideration for patrons. And so there's currently 1 person in the modular on Saturday and 1 person in town hall. Okay, well, are you asking for a motion from the trustees to do this? Is that?
If you aren't ready for that, if you would like to think it over, or if you'd like more concrete information about if I can get more data on who's coming in at each
Mhm.
location, we can do that.
Well, we could put this on our agenda for next Wednesday.
Okay.
That makes sense, just to see, because I wouldn't want to do it abruptly this weekend.
Okay.
But maybe we do. I don't know, I think we're kind of in a situation where you've raised a concern, and I think we may simply just need to do it this evening, because if something were to happen on Saturday, we'd be, we feel badly. You've kind of called to our attention just this, the notion of somebody falling, and if they're by
Yeah.
themselves. This has been a longstanding issue, and while I'm incredibly grateful to the staff that are working independently on those days in the interests of serving the patrons. I think the time may be that we need to make a decision.
I'd like to see us make a decision today. I think there are several safety concerns and we need to act on it.
Okay, well, why don't we then, I'll entertain a motion then that we change our staffing on Saturdays such that 2 staff will be present in the modular unit, and the town hall section will not be open on Saturdays. And so if somebody could make that motion and we get a second, we'll discuss.
This is Rita. I make a motion that we have 2 staff members on Saturdays at town hall. Excuse me, modular unit.
And that the town hall section would be closed on Saturdays. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, do we have a second?
Just a point of discussion.
Sure.
If in Jocelyn's review of the situation, if she finds that the town hall section is getting more business, or that we have patrons that are making a request, we may even want to change it to every other week, in fairness to both both parts of the library.
That was my thought too, Ann. I was wondering if we could do that. That sounds
Just-
good.
But maybe
So-
even in, I don't know if that's something you want to decide right now or do it in the future.
I think we could, I'd entertain a motion that Saturday operations of the library would entail having 2 staff persons at the same location at the same time, with that location to be determined at the discretion of the library director. How does that sound?
It sounds
Sounds
good. Do
With-
we, need- go
With
ahead.
that scenario, I'd like to consult with staff a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like it's a big, like, I feel like it's the right thing, and it feels very drastic at the same time, so.
Agreed.
So, okay, so we have a motion, or I'm entertaining a motion to change library staffing on Saturdays to having 2 staff persons at one location. With that location to be determined by the library director. As needed.
This is Ann Meitzen. I so move.
You have a
Second.
second?
Rita Russo, second.
Okay, we have a motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? I thank you, Jocelyn, for calling this to our attention. So we'll vote.
Can I just,
Oh, sure, yeah.
is this effective on a week from Saturday?
I was just about to ask that. We didn't put an effective date on it. Would it be problematic to make it effective this Saturday?
I don't know. Because of
Saturday,
the advance warning.
yeah, Saturday's only 2 days away and you're not open tomorrow, so it would be a little,
Okay,
Yeah, I'll
all right. Well, Jocelyn, you and I can talk offline about some arrangements that we could make to
Okay.
maintain the current configuration of staff on Saturday, but also to make sure there's regular communication and connection. We'll figure something out. I don't think we need to go into the details of that here.
Yeah.
So we have a motion made and seconded. We'll vote. Rita Russo,
aye.
Ann Meitzen,
Aye.
Ron O'Connor, Chair, aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
All right.
The last item on the agenda is the Massachusetts Cultural Council Recovery Grants for Southeastern Massachusetts. Jocelyn?
There is, I guess it's a press conference officially for the recipients of the recovery grant, of which the Dighton Library is one of the grantees. And that's our $27,000-ish amount. And the ceremony is tomorrow at 11 a.m. at the Cultural Center of Cape Cod. That's in South Yarmouth. And I will be attending, and I didn't know if anyone was able or interested to attend. I know it's last minute. But I can also represent the trustees.
Yes, it's fine. I see Ann shaking her head. I know I can't. I don't think it's necessary for the trustees to be there. I'm certainly grateful, Jocelyn, that you're able to attend and represent the library. And I know if there's an opportunity for expression of gratitude for the grant, you can convey the gratitude of the trustees as well as yourself and the town and the staff. You're a fine spokesperson for all of us in those circumstances. So
No, it was that one little lagging detail that I was asked, are you going? Are you going? And I was persuaded to attend, so.
Good, thank you. All right, so public comment. I don't see it. There's nobody else here, right?
I don't see any.
Public comments. Okay, well then we can move on to adjournment. With our next meeting, a special meeting of the trustees scheduled for Wednesday,
4 p.m.
March 15th at, right, this is the 15th, I can't,
Oh,
Yeah,
9
the 15th.
15th at 9 a.m.
Sorry.
And so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
I second.
A motion made and seconded to adjourn. We'll vote. Ann Meitzen,
Aye.
Rita Rujo,
Aye.
Ron O'Connor, Chair. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful evening and great weekend.
You too.
Thank you.
Jocelyn, if you could just hang on for like 2 minutes. You can